Hey, Shalom. I want to start today by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, who taught me this truth through the Holy Spirit. And Shalom to you brothers and sisters out here listening and learning. Today I'm going to be speaking about this video. And I don't know if you guys know it or not, but there's a major uprising in London. Okay, and there's been a media blackout on it. And I just happened to catch a video, excuse me, on TikTok, okay? And this goes into, prophecy, okay? And, this is what we talk about here, okay? And this is a major prophecy, all right? And, all the prophecies are major, okay? But this one here, is going to bring in Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, okay? Which we'll read, Lord willing. All right, but I'm going to play the video. So the text says, over 1 million protesters flood the streets of London. This is the largest protest in British history. Okay, so this is, out of all history of Britain, this is the largest ever. Okay, so this is unprecedented times. Okay, and the Lord told us that these things before his coming. Okay, in the book of Matthew, which we read frequently, and we'll read it again. Okay, because the prophets and the apostles, okay, the disciples, they wanted to see these things. Okay, and many great men have desired to see these things. Okay, so this should, you should be blessed to see, to even, get the truth first and foremost. But for the Lord to be answering the prayers, that's a beautiful thing. Let me get this. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 13. And I'll read, I'll start at I'll start at 16. It says, but blessed are your eyes, for you see, and your ears, for they hear. And true indeed, man, there's never been a truer saying. Blessed are our eyes to see these, not only the truth, okay, but the prophecies that come to pass, man. Okay, this is a fantastic thing. It says, for verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Okay, so many people have desired to see these things. And we're very blessed to be in these times. Okay, look at this. Yeah, this is basically shutting down. And I shut down the whole street and the bridge. Okay, and you can Google this to verify it. All right, I think there's, let me see if I can get another London protests. It's a protest outside the American Embassy on Saturday. Let's see this.
Right now, as you watch this video, thousands of furious British citizens are flooding the streets of London in what's being called the largest anti-government demonstration in recent history. The chants are deafening, the anger is palpable, and the message is crystal clear. Keir Starmer must go. What started as whispers of discontent has exploded into a...
So we're right here. These people are, it's an anti-government protest. Okay, and this is exactly what it says in the book of Ezra. Okay, that the people, let's get it, will not regard their kings and princes. Okay, this is Second Ezra 15, and And in 15 it says, "For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against each other, and swords in their hand. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." Okay? And this all coincides with the awakening of Israel. All right? All this happens because Israel is about to be delivered. Okay? The baby is about to be delivered. And, the Lord is preparing, right, the fire. Okay? Let me get this. Bear with me. This is the book of Luke 12. Okay. And 49, it says, "I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it already be kindled?" Okay. And this is exactly what that is. Okay. This is a fire, on the earth. Okay. And these people are being prepared for the coming of Yahweh Shai, and they don't even know it, man. Okay. But blessed are your eyes, for they see. Okay. Let's look at that word fire. Okay. Who was it? 49. That word fire is pyre. Okay, and it says lightning, fiery, fire. Okay, so it just means fire. Okay, figuratively, especially lightning. Let's read it in the Amplified. "I have come to cast fire judgment on the earth, and how I wish that it were already kindled." Okay, and it is kindled. All right, and you see it right here. Okay, and this is just the start. Coming from okay, this is just the beginning of it, because this is going to spread into Babylon. All right, and this is why you haven't heard of this. Okay, and you haven't heard of a lot of the protests that are happening all throughout the world. Okay, because America, has all these guns and, different rights. Okay, and America is going to be used, for a different role in the rest of these nations. Okay, America is being saved up for a different role. All right. But the rest of these nations are going to, basically, their kingdom is going to be in decline until the coming of the Lord. So it's only going to get even more miserable for these people. And this is why they're protesting. Okay? Because it's getting more and more miserable. Okay? Matter of fact, bear with me. This is the book of Baruch 4:32. It says, "Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons." All right. Israel has served captivity in Britain and all these nations. Okay. Israel has been scattered into all these nations. All right. So this judgment is going to touch all the nations. Okay. If we read in the book of Psalms 83, we can see, that all these nations damn near had a part in the destruction of Israel, man. Okay. And there's another scripture that says, what nation hasn't taken part in her spoils? Okay. So all these cities are going to be taken down a notch, so to speak. Okay. When this new world order comes into pass. Okay. It's not going to be a pretty thing, this new world order. Okay. It's going to be a time of great trouble, such as of never there was. Okay. Because there's going to be, totalitarian, authoritarian government. Okay. And armies and things of that nature. Okay. This is going to be all over the world, man. Okay. And it's going to be a terrible time. And this is why it says right here, Revelation 13, Um, and I'll read at 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused them on earth which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed." Okay, and this is going into, the Roman Empire that was revived. Okay, America and Babylon is the revival of the Roman Empire. Okay, and these two horns are speaking on, it's called a bicameral legislation. Okay, which goes into the two-party system. All right, and Britain has that as well. Okay, majority of these nations have that because that's the image of the beast. Okay, that's the image of Rome. Okay, and this is the system that they use to keep rule. Okay, this is a corrupt system, and this is why these people are marching in the street. Okay, because it fools you into thinking that voting and policy is what rules the day, man. Okay, when in actuality it's the international bankers, the corporations. Okay, they choose who they want in there. Okay, and the people are starting to see it, man. All right, and this is why they're uprising. Okay, and this devil is going to come down with great wrath, man. It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in sight of men. Okay, going into these missiles. It said, "And deceive them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live, and he had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." Okay, and you see all these protesters. Okay, these protesters, it looks like they're not going to be worshiping the image of the beast. Okay, so there's going to be many, taken in great number. Okay, because a lot of these people are protesting the setup of the beast. Okay, and this is why this devil is going to come down with great wrath. Okay, not just against you Israelites. Okay, you Israelites are the prime target. Okay, but there's going to be a lot of collateral damage here. Okay, and this is why we always bring in 2nd Ezra 15. The 2nd Ezra 15 is the perfect picture, okay, that the Lord gave us through Ezra to see what was going to happen in these last days. Okay, which was spoken about in the book of Matthew. Okay, so this is beautiful to see this.
UK,
all right, and these protests are going on. Let's see, I believe it's in France too. Okay, and this was no, this was in 2022. Okay, but there's protests all across the world. Okay, let's take a quick look on Google. Okay. So it says right here in the AI overview, it says as of late January 2026, significant protests and political unrest are occurring globally, with major activity in Iran, okay, regarding a lethal crackdown on demonstrators. Other notable protests involve pro-Palestinian marches in Dublin, okay, protests in Minneapolis and Venezuela, okay, Hong Kong, Albania. Okay, Hong Kong is the national security trial of 3 pro-democracy activists, marking a continued focal point for censorship and protests. Okay, so free speech and censorship is being threatened across the whole world. Okay, in Albania, you got opposition members continue to protest imprisonment of lawmakers and corruption. Okay, and you have this one in Britain. Okay, and they didn't even mention that. They didn't even mention that on this. Okay, so that shows you how corrupt this AI system is. Okay, and all this, this misdirection that's going on. Okay, because this devil is losing. All right, but I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Okay, that what the Lord spoke about in the book of Ezra. Okay, I'll read it again. Second Ezra 15. Okay, it says, for there shall be sedition amongst men, invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay, and a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Okay, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And a man shall have no pity on his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. Okay, so Ezra saw this, and Yahweh Shai saw this as well. Okay, in the book of Matthew, okay, where the disciples asked him, right? It says Matthew 24 and 3. It says, and he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahweh shall answer and say unto him, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these things are the beginnings of sorrows. Okay, so, this is it. Okay, Satan is divided against Satan. Okay, Egyptian against Egyptian. Okay, and it's going to take only one spark, okay, to get this thing going. Okay, Lord's will, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai get this thing going as soon as possible. Okay, because, I know I'm, worn out. Okay, it's hard to express how worn out I am. And I know you brothers are feeling the same way. Okay, but stick in there, man. Keep fighting, keep pushing. Okay, keep them legs moving. Keep that brain churning. Okay, keep doing it. Keep doing the things that please the Lord, because, hey, he's hearing our prayers. Okay, and he's allowing us to see these things. All right, I'm going to end it right there. Lord's will, you was edified. I'll end it by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash. Shalom to the elect.